And you see now in those odds, because we talked about the Vikings at 6-1, they are the favorite to land Hendon Hooker according to DraftKings odds. The Patriots now, with the news yesterday that we discussed already a little bit earlier on the show with the Mike Florio report coming out that maybe there's some dissension in New England and that the Bill Belichick and company are looking to maybe move on from Mac Jones. They've been shopping the name. The Patriots now have popped up at 9-1, the second shortest shot on the board. They weren't even in the top 16 teams as of yesterday on those odds boards.
Yeah, and I think, too, it gives us an example of we're all grasping at straws here when it comes to this stuff, right? Like, the report comes out that that's probably, like, Mac Jones is on the block. Because here's the thing, too. Like, as we kind of put two and two together in the first hour, let's say Mac Jones is truly on the block, that the Patriots are shopping him around. Would the Patriots be shopping him around to then draft Hendon Hooker? Or would the Patriots be shopping around their one-time first-round pick because they're going to get Lamar Jackson or trying to get Lamar Jackson, right? So, again, like, I get why you would think that, but the dots I'm connecting with that aren't, Hendon Hooker's going to be their pick. It's going to be, no, they might want Lamar Jackson.
And that's all you can really do at this point, too, is trying to connect the dots, trying to read the tea leaves, seeing into the way that these teams think, because we have no concrete information on any of this.
Right.
So which markets can you get ahead of? Especially for this one specifically, you're not ahead of the market anymore.
Right. And so that's why I think, like, when you're looking at a guy like Hendon Hooker, what you're trying to do here is looking at teams who might take him at the front end of the second round, right? So, like, go down, I think, a little bit further down the board. What are the Seahawks right there? Like 12-1. So the Seahawks pick, as we know, 5th in this draft. But in terms of the second round, the Seattle Seahawks are picking 37th. Mm-hmm. That's a team that Geno Smith, as we know, the actual record for him, or excuse me, contract for him is more like, what is it, 2 years?
Yeah, he signs the extension, but he's not the long-term answer at quarterback.
So why not, like, if you're going to go the developmental, hey, let's sit a guy back there, why wouldn't it be the Seattle Seahawks picking 37th to go and grab a Hendon Hooker type? I think that's the comparisons you're trying to make. And I get it, they still have the 20th overall pick, but I just keep going back to where I just don't believe, if you're Seattle too, if you think your window is here, like, if at 20, you could grab a Zay Flowers, you could add to your receiving core, whatever it is. I don't think a guy like Hendon Hooker, who by all accounts, again, might be a guy that you need to develop a little bit here to get used to a pro-type system, is going to be one that's worth a first-round pick.
Well, and that's the thing that Michael and I have talked a lot about. Like, I really do like Hendon Hooker, and he was leading the NCAA in completion percentage and all of these different statistics when he did ultimately get injured. But he is very much so a system quarterback, and he was, under Josh Heupel, put in a lot of positions for success. Not to say that just anybody could put up the numbers that he did specifically. He has an element of being special himself, but as an older player, it's a very, very different situation, I think, coming into the NFL draft. Also, as far as Seattle goes, that's if they don't trade up, right, to try to get Anthony Richardson potentially.
And that could be another thing, too, because maybe their 20th pick is gone. Who knows what they're going to try to do with those? But I would agree. And like you said, like, if the system is the one thing, too, and it's not just Hendon Hooker. Keep in mind, like, if you read any analysis on a lot of these Tennessee players coming out, the one thing that always comes up is, like, we don't know how much they benefited from the system that they were in. That includes the offensive lineman who's coming out from Tennessee, whose name escapes me right now. Some of the guys that are coming out of wide receiver, like Darnell Wright, the offensive tackle. So, like, that, it's not just a Hendon Hooker thing. It's like you said, it's a one read react type of offense. It's hard to evaluate these guys and translate how they do in the National Football League.